Hi everybody, it's Ashley. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be reviewing A Flicker in the Dark by Stacy Willingham. This was an unexpected surprise for me in a lot of different ways. I did read this for my Reading 3 thriller vlog that I uploaded a couple of weeks ago, but this deserved its own review for many reasons because this blew me out of the water. It's my biggest surprise of the year so far. So get a snack, stick around, and we'll jump right in and talk about it. So, A Flicker in the Dark, we are following Chloe, who is a child psychologist, and she has gone through a little bit of trauma in her life. 20 years ago, her father confessed to serial murders of young girls in their little town that they lived in, and went to prison. Now, 20 years have passed, and similar crimes are starting to occur. Girls are going missing, the patterns kind of match, and the interesting thing is they all seem to be, in a way, linked to Chloe, as if somebody is trying to tell her something. But the catch is her father is still in prison. So this means one of two things. Either he was never responsible to begin with, or there is a copycat on the loose that happens to know a little bit more than they should. This really blew me away. I knew the bare premise of it, and I remember thinking that it sounded very similar to The Obsession by Nora Roberts, which I read a few years ago and I really enjoyed. But so I wasn't really expecting anything from this. I felt like it sounded like a carbon copy to me. But when I got down and I started reading it, I became so invested in the story and so invested in the characters. And like I was making all these predictions, and I felt for Chloe because it's like the pain of what she was going through and trying to process it. And it just goes to show that just because you're a psychologist doesn't necessarily mean that you are prepared to handle something like this on your own. And she was trying to. And I do think that was mistake number one for her. I really felt like she should have been having somebody help her work through those events, because that type of tragedy or anything of that nature, nobody can really get through that on their own, at least not successfully and in a non-damaging way. So her character was very sympathetic. She thought she could handle it herself, and it just continued to snowball. The characters were so well-rounded. The atmosphere was good. It's like I thought that the villain choices, for lack of a better word, were like spot on. My suspicions were kind of all over the place. Like I suspected 3 characters, and in a way, all 3 of those people came into play. So it was like I didn't have the right theory for any one of them, but like pieces of each of them. So it's like I was kind of wrong and right at the same time, which is weird for me. But I liked that experience because it's like, even though I might have guessed X with one character, that it didn't necessarily mean that it transferred to Y. So I did like that because I have a tendency to guess the endings of books. It's the writer in me. And I typically don't even fault the books for it unless it's just very poorly written, because this is something that I know my brain does. And so when it comes to an effect where I can guess the person, but not necessarily the motive, I still am happy with it. And this really threw me through a loop, and I really enjoyed what it did. So I was very happy with the outcome. This is my first Stacy Willingham book. I think she has at least one other one. I'm not sure if there's more other than that, but I definitely want to read the other one that I know about. And this was a 5-star read for me. This was so good. I believe it was the debut. When I marked it in Book of the Month, it gave me a debut badge. So that's even more impressive in my opinion. This was so amazingly good. I don't have enough good things to say about it. The only like negative that I can really point out that may be triggering to you is our main character Chloe does take advantage of her position as a psychologist and is using her patients' names to prescribe herself medication, which clearly is wrong. So that if that's triggering for you, you might want to avoid this. But other than that, I felt like this was impeccably written, very good characters, so well developed. I felt like I knew these people. It was just top of the line, amazing. And now I'm kind of thinking that I need to reread The Obsession by Nora Roberts, which was the book that I thought this was going to emulate. Because if I am remembering correctly, while there were strong parallels, I still felt like that book and this one were very different, which I was not expecting with such a similar plotline. So I need to reread that one to compare because I don't want to inadequately say that this took inspiration from that because I honestly don't know. It could have been a coincidence. That one is classified as a romantic suspense, and this one is just a thriller. So I definitely need to refresh my memory on that one. But A Flicker in the Dark, pick this up if you haven't already read it. It is so good, and I needed a good one after In My Dreams I Hold a Knife. I really, really did. So that is all that I have for you guys today. If you like this video, please make sure to subscribe, like, comment, follow me on the social medias. Click that bell if you want to be notified of all of my upcoming videos. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.